Here are the answers for the day one warm-up. Question A, write the formula for Boyle's law. P1 times V1 equals P2 times V2. P means pressure, V means volume. Question B, a gas exerts a pressure of 50 kilopascals inside a 4-liter container. What pressure would the same amount of gas exert inside a 6-liter container? In this problem, this value right here is pressure number 1. This value right here is volume number 1, the initial pressure and initial volume of the gas in its original container. Then the gas is put into a different container that's larger. This measurement is volume number 2. What's the volume of the second container? And then when it asks us like what pressure, that's asking us to find P2. So here we have a word problem that has measurements for P1, V1, P2, and V2. We recognize that that uses Boyle's law. So you see the formula written down. Please include that formula when you're writing down my answer on your paper. You'll see in the next step that the values are substituted in for 3 of the variables, leaving the unknown P sub 2. And then it's an algebra problem, right? Solve the equation. 50 times 4 makes 200. Then divide both sides by 6 to get the P2 alone. The result is 33.33 on a calculator. And then using the rules about rounding and significant figures, we round it to 30 kilopascals. Again, make sure that you show the formula, show the substitution, use your calculator to actually get an answer and to round your answer correctly. Here is question C. So a very similar problem when we read it. A gas exerts a pressure of 5 atmospheres inside a 3.5 liter container. So the 5 atmospheres is the value of P1. The 3.5 liters, that's V1. So you got to recognize atmospheres is a pressure. You got to know liters is for volume. The pressure is increased to 7 atmospheres. So that's pressure number 2. And then when it asks what size container, that would be V2, right? So we have this story problem. We've paid attention to the measurements and identified their P1, V1, P2, V2. That's how we know to use Boyle's law. Again, write that formula down. Show the substituted numbers, like, with parentheses around them. And then use a calculator to get the answer is 2.5. And then round it. So the final result is 3 liters.